Hey everyone, picture living in a place where you are consistently mistaken for someone of the opposite gender despite your best efforts. The premise of this anime is that the main character moves to a new city to start over only to end up living with some strange gals. The narrative centers on Shinaki, a young man who moves to Tokyo to study and try to flee his past. Due to his petite stature and delicate facial characteristics, many people still mistake him for a girl. His objective is to be recognized like a man. Upon arriving at his new home, he encounters Sonohara Ayaka, a girl with a mission to protect men from misidentification. When it's time for a bath, Aki also thinks he's a girl because of his attractive, curvy appearance. Ayaka enters the shower while just wearing a towel, and Ki wonders how he would manage to live with her for the next 3 years, and explains to him that it's customary to scrub newcomers' backs. Aki first hesitates to reveal his true gender, but eventually does. Suddenly reveals to being a guy, Ayaka stays in the bathroom and assures him that she will look after him because he's still a kid, so she playfully bites his ear, which makes him dizzy when he wakes up. The Ki wakes up on Ayaka's lap where she has dressed him and offers her apologies for not realizing that he was a male. Cook's Aki remembers being treated as a girl and is motivated to change that perception, which results in various Ake, then makes an effort to demonstrate his value as a reliable man by assisting Ayaka with his hot ideas about he tries to do duties, but his clumsiness gets in the way. Disappointed, he tells Ayaka what happened and she eventually rewards him. If he gives her a kiss on the cheek as a Ki is about to turn, she promises to treat him like a man. Yuzu, a small girl with a chicken on her head to make her appear taller, enters the house. She is that you will be studying Yamanashi Sumeir at Tanamaki Shu Middle School, where he is the president of the student council. Vice President and Kazami Yuri, the secretary of the student council, also live in the same residence, which each female has visited. Additionally, following the introduction, Ayaka makes dinner and sends the girls off for a bath alone in his room, and a week later, Aki is still thinking about Ayaka's behavior at the school door. He then takes a bath to unwind, but Ayaka walks into the bathroom wearing only a bikini. He falls asleep while she cuts his hair and wakes up to find her in the bathtub with him, which frightens him. As the days pass, back in his room, Aki understands that he and Ayaka will continue to get closer until the festival. They spend more time together and intensify their training, leaving one Ki fatigued on the day of the competition. Another day in the apartment building, Yuzu is screaming in her room naked and afraid. Aki kicks him out when he gets clothed. After pulling a practical joke on her, the Ki refuses to kill the tarantula when she asks him to. Sumeir tries to kill the spider that Yuzu is dealing with, but she is terrified as well and Yuri won't even leave her room. Before departing, Yuzu asks Akita to cover while Ayaka enters, removes the spider, and invites Akita to go shopping with her. Idafa's worry when shopping. Aki discovers that Ayaka drinks but is unable to find out anything further at home. Yuzu questions. Yuzu offers Eki a horror movie to watch with Ayaka in the hopes that it will provide some light on Ayaka's dread. The females give ideas to frighten Ayaka, but if he tries, he ends up becoming afraid himself. Wishes to stop, they counter that if he is aware of her fear, he can shield her, which prompts Akita to approach Kayaka directly. Admits to being wary of a stranger entering her bed as she sleeps, but as Aki arrives that night, he doesn't cause any problems. Tries to go, Ayaka pulls him into bed and reveals that she dislikes horror films as well, but has endured them for his benefit. Due to their common terror, they must sleep together. The following morning, the girls discover them dozing off in the same bed. Holding Yuzu is talking to Aki in his room as we are watching, and our protagonist asks about Yuzu's. Yuzu explains that although it's hot outside, Iki's room is cooler, and she sarcastically advises him to when Aki suddenly discovers they are alone in his room and Yuzu sees his gaze fixed on her. She tells him to stop being so grumpy. She invites him to read it with her on the bed, assuming it's because of her manga, and she settles in between them. However, as they read, a PC moment in the manga plays out, and Yuzu suddenly remembers that. His legs, so they can read more comfortably. She notices that Aki is a guy and becomes uneasy with his presence. She flees the room while yelling Ayaka, carries cookies into Ziki's room and asks what's up, not knowing what's going on. Yuzu enters as Sayaka hugs him to get into character and advises that Sayaka acted out for him to better understand what's occurring. The following day, our protagonist feels that someone is observing him after discovering their mere proximity and expressing her displeasure. And just as he's about to enter the restroom, he spots Sumeir, whose Yuzu is keeping an eye on him and wants to know why the president keeps mentioning him and what he has that she wants. They arrive at Niki's room where Sumeir assists him with his homework after observing its inadequate completion. Sumeir discovers a stuffed animal while looking through his belongings and they become friends through their shared love of cute Things Ayaka enters, misreads the circumstance, and storms off in a huff. Sumaya apologizes for her error and departs. Afterwards, Sumire recommends going to an amusement park, but Yuzu is too short for that. The girls beg Aki to cheer her up for one of the rides despite the fact that she has a chicken on her head, but he declines. Aki observes that Sumire's room contains a mirror, so they dress him up as a woman and send him inside nevertheless. If he discovers that Su wants a more feminine touch, he complies with her request to assist her dress by putting her in pajamas. She couldn't lift Yuzu, which upsets Meyer. He instructs her to carry him instead, which she does, and they leave the room. Notwithstanding Su Meyer's later apology, Yuzu is still unable to ride the ride when they return to the amusement park. Yuri asks Aki for a favor, which he accepts, and when she reveals that she is wearing a chicken on her head, she brings him to her. When asked to dress up as a maid in his room, the initially reluctant Ki eventually agrees and tries on numerous costumes at Yuri's. Even a girl's swimsuit, Ayaka hears the disturbance and investigates, which causes Aki and Yuri to hide in the closet to prevent detection. Yuri uses a key to recognize their proximity, but they manage to flee unseen. Back in his room, Aki starts to whilst in her room, Yuri hangs a picture of a Ki dressed as a maid and conveys her fantasies about Yuri and her aroma. Aki, Yuzu, and Ayaka are happily looking through the photos of everyone in the dining room. A talk about a magazine for bridal preparation in which Yuzu shares her ideas on how to be a wonderful wife. Yuzu starts to picture Ayaka as a bride, which causes him to tip over a juice glass in his hand. In Wet Yuzu's magazine, as she dries it, she tells the group about her ideal position as a wife. Yuri and Sumire then enter and join the talk, expressing they also inquire about Ayaka's opinion regarding her own marital aspirations, but she displays satisfaction with her existing situation. The group then turns to the protagonist and asks about his single status, but fun taunting interrupts his reaction later in his room. Aki makes the decision to focus on becoming more manly in order to get Ayaka's attention. He discovers a hint in the after reading in a bridal magazine that learning to cook would boost his chances of finding a wife. He immediately asks Ayaka to teach him. As they prepare dinner, he teaches the other girls how to cook and conveys his newly discovered conviction that having the ability to cook. Upon realizing that she would make a better wife than he would, he is confused and Yuzu asks him a personal question about whether men prefer ladies with long hair. He responds that he does. Together, they look at ways to increase growth naturally and come up with the concept of after receiving a massage, the characters consider Ayaka's generosity. As the story progresses, Yuzu has an embarrassing interaction with him which causes her to angrily strike him. Days go by and Ayaka finds a little bikini from her childhood that cheers her up as the rainy season approaches. Aki observes the roof leaks and offers assistance, but they find themselves stuck on the roof when the ladder falls and must wait till the other girls return from their student council obligations before getting help. As a result of Aki almost falling off the roof, the girls discover a Ki and an Ayaka in a perilous hub. Yuzu teases them. When she told the latter about their awkwardness, she later had a similar accident herself on another wet day. When you get home from school drenched, you play rock, paper, scissors to decide who gets to use the restroom first. Girls triumph, and in the hour that followed, Ayaka dried the main character's hair. They talked about their planned school trip, and the need to leave someone behind to keep an eye on Ayaka and Nikki, while Aki appears to be struggling in the living room. Having a cold, Ayaka takes care of him, lulling him to sleep on her lap, only to have him woken later for his. As the season of summer arrives, put on the bath. Yuzu can enjoy the pool that Aki has made up. Suddenly, Yuri appears and morphs into. This startles Yuzu, who accidentally sprays Ayaka and Sumire with a hose while wearing her swimsuit. Ayaka and the other girls were all sporting bikinis, but Aki was missing as they playfully threw her into the water. The protagonist perseveres till he completes, then afterward he uses the restroom and then requests his prize. While enjoying their ice cream, Ayaka and Suo hear the doorbell ring. Suo, a girl, is actually holding an ice cream as a key. The delivery of soft drinks that Ayaka had purchased from the nearby supermarket to commemorate their successful completion of responsibilities, but in addition, Suo gives Ayaka a drink to enjoy with the other girls traveling. Work for the student council. Aki and Ayaka use the chance to pour their drinks, with Ayaka opting for a soft drink. Selects beer, but just a few sips later, Ayaka is drunk, and then once the girls return, they see that she is making overtures toward them, kissing Yuzu, Sumire, and Yuri. She nods off as he advises storing such behavior until adulthood, and when she wakes up, she discovers herself laying on the protagonist's lap. She apologizes for her actions while acknowledging that she doesn't remember them. She informs Atiki about the prior incidents, but before leaving the room, she makes a suggestion that she might truly remember what transpired on the hot day when Hiki entered his chamber in search of a girl before declaring his completion and independence. He quickly leaves the room after they lock eyes, scared and perplexed about who she is, and the girl then extends an invitation to him. She welcomes him back in and identifies herself as Nana, expressing regret for the interruption and sharing that the space was once hers. That's it for part 1. See you soon.